Tails and Scales, The Empty Throne, Chapter 14, A Game of Kobolds. After declaring who the green armored kobolds are, both sides kept their guards. Swords, spears, and arrows aim at each other, filling the web-covered cave with an atmosphere of tension. Both sides are so quiet that the sound of flowing air is heard blowing through the tunnels. Silvus, one of the two raptors among the royal army side, hold his sword, with the blade covered with mist aura. He turns his head back to make sure his cousin is okay. Iko is seen standing among a row of archers with his bow and arrow drawn, at the same time protecting Fee by standing in front of her. Silvus turns his head back up front, leans left to Key, who is standing next to him, and whispers, "Who are Clan Shu, and what do they have against you?" Key, in return, whispers back, "Shu was one of the major ruling clans, until they tried to overthrow my clan in order to gain power. Because of it, my ancestor, King Zhao Jin, forced him into exile. As you can see, we kobolds take honor among clans very seriously. For so long, we have prepared for this day. We knew the king will send you to rescue your sister. So we decided to kidnap her, to use her as bait, to take out both of you. I have to admit, I hope the tarantulas will eat you all first." Jiang Shu of the opposing side mocks with a smirk. "You kidnapped the princess to use her as bait? How dare you!" All eyes go to an angry Iko who shouted. He keeps his bow drawn, getting ready to fire at any moment. Fee, who stands behind Iko, is holding onto his leg like a poor maiden needing her knight in shining armor. Obviously, she is scared, not only because she is young, but also she has no weapon to defend herself. "Who in the root's name is that abomination?" Jiang demands with a brow raised. "That's my cousin," Silva snarls, followed by a hiss, gaining Jiang's attention. Jiang squints his eyes, getting a closer look at him. He seems to be scanning Silvus as if he's seen him before. "You must be silver-scaled surface dweller that our mutual ally is interested in," Jiang states with a curious look. "What mutual ally?" Silvus shouts, looking confused. He only earns a laugh from both Jiang and his army. Qi himself is also just as confused. "This hidden ally of yours, who is he?" Qi demands, stopping his foot to show he is serious. "It is not he, pretender. The ally is a she, and she wants you, your sister, and your tall friend, dead as much as we do. She is the reason we managed to pull all this. Regardless, we all are going to get the revenge we wanted. Kobold of Shu, attack!" Jiang Shu and his army begin their charge. They all run down the rocky slope like a stampede of angry tritops. In response, the royal army, allied with the Ronin, charges with Prince Qi leading. Iko Fi and the archers, however, stay behind to give them arrow support to their allies. The two armies clash in the middle of the opening. Blades clashing, axes bashing, arrows being shot. Both sides fought intense. At the center, Qi is seen fighting one-on-one with Jiang, clashing their swords. Among the battle, Silvus is the only one seen performing elemental misspells at the enemy. The common spell he uses is the lightning shock spell with either his blade or claw, in order to zap them non-lethally. When one or two enemy kobolds get close to him, he thrusts his claw forward to perform force push, a spell in the gravitation category to push them off. He begins to feel his mind getting tired due to performing too many spells. A nearby kobold, thinking Silvus is weakened, tries to strike with his blade raised, only for his target to quickly spot him and parries his attack. Silvus deflects 3 blows from his attacker, followed by a stab to the chest. He kicks the enemy on the face, making him ragdoll off his blade. Silvus turns around to see another enemy kobold about to charge. Silvus stands guard, only for the enemy to get shot in the back of the head by an arrow. He turns his head to see Iko giving him the thumbs up with a bow and claw. He made the killing shot, saving Silvus' life twice. Having the more numerous advantage, the royal army and the Ronin are prevailing against the Shu army. Seeing that they are losing the battle, the Shu forces begin to either run away like cowards or drop their weapons to surrender. Jiang Shu, who is busy fighting Qi, notices soldiers running or surrendering. In pure rage, he shouts, "Cowards!" only for him to get jumped by Qi. Qi takes advantage of the distraction, pinning Jiang on the ground with his foot and pointing his sword to his neck. Silvus, the royal army, the Ronin, and the surrounding Shu army take notice and begin to flock to the prince pinning Jiang. "It's over, Jiang. Who is this ally of yours, and what is she planning? And don't you dare lie!" Qi jabs his blade at Jiang's shoulder, making him shriek in pain. The scream from Jiang slowly morphs into laughter, confusing the crowd. "The enemy of my enemy is friend, they say, pretender. She was behind your tail before you came here. Betrayed by your own blood. Wahaha!" Jiang continues to laugh, still lying on the ground. Silvus continues to stand in place, thinking about what Jiang told Qi. Betrayed by one's own blood. Then it hit him, shouting the name. "Kree!" Eyes all go to him. Qi gets off Jiang, orders one of his soldiers to tie him up, and rushes up towards Silvus. "You know something, soldier?" "I do. Last night, your sister Kree came up to me before meeting your father. Then earlier during the trial, she was calm. Too calm at the news of your other sister's situation." "Wait a minute." Eyes all turn to Fee, who is storming towards Silvus and Qi, with Eiko following along.
"You don't mean Kree's really behind all this?"
"Did you not mention your sister telling you to meet her out here?" Silvus asks her with a serious tone.
"That's true."
Fee shyly turns her head to her eldest sibling and only brother.
"What do you think, big brother?"
"I don't know, but if it's true, why would she want us killed?" While the siblings debated why Kree would try to get him killed, Silvus is having his own debate about Kree in his mind. Why does she want me killed? Obviously, her reason to dare kill her siblings is to get closer to the throne. But why me as well? Silvus turns around to see Jiang bound, held by two of the royal army. He approaches Jiang to get some answers. "What do you want, you tall freak?" Jiang growls at him. "This ally, it's Kree, is it?" "Why does it matter to you?" "Because you said that she wants me dead." "Well, of course it matters to me," Silvus retorts at the bound prisoner and continues. "What did she tell you about me?" "She only tells me that you are some kind of threat to our plans after promising we would get married. From the way you fight with those powers of yours. No wonder she thinks you're a threat." "How am I a threat to her?" "Hell if I know. She just told me that you were a threat, that's all. You will get no more from me, friend of Clan Jin." With that, Jiang huffs and turns his head to the side, refusing to cooperate further. Silvus decides to just let it go, knowing that he can get more information from Kree herself. He walks back to Qi and Fee, who just finished debating, turn to him. "Well, soldier, if Kree is behind this, it means father is in danger."
"Big brother is right. We need to save Daddy. Quick, quick." "So not cool."
The royal siblings walk past Silvus at the same time. Qi orders the Kobold army to start moving back to Shima, with the Shu prisoners still bound. The rotting Ronin bid farewell, wishing them luck before parting ways. As Silvus watches the army move, Eiko walks up beside him and whispers, "Dude, getting your family killed? What kind of monster will want to hurt their own scales and blood?" "It's part of the reality of politics, my young cousin. I have read many books about it." "Like what?" "Like the story of Alpha Queen Ultimar Irona the Eighth, so obsessed with wanting a daughter, she would abuse her power to go through 6 husbands and abandon one of her sons." So it starts running to catch up with the army, while Eiko stands dumbfounded. Shaking his head, Eiko too runs along. Silvus finds himself marching fast along the caverns of the outer roads, along with the Royal Shima army. Based on the information what the Shu prisoners told them, a princess among the Jin clan is a possible traitor. If she is a traitor, King Yi is in danger. They quickly come across the same gates they came before, heavily guarded. Among the guards, the captain approaches them with a relieved smile on his face, only to be ordered by Qi to open the gates ASAP. The guard salutes, looking surprised that the prince is in a hurry. With a loud clicking sound, The gates begin to open. The sound of opening gates make all the kobold residents in the city to rush up, hoping to see if the army has been successful in rescuing the princess. The army, however, ignores the crowd, rushing to the elite district as soon as possible, while half of the army takes the prisoners to a nearby city dungeon. Silvus and the gang barge right into the throne room, slamming the doors right at the walls. The kobold nobles waiting inside are startled by the booming sound as they watch Silvus' group, now 20 soldiers, along with Iko, Ki, and Fi. On the throne, King Yi looks at the marching gang, ignoring the sudden barging. Seeing that they have succeeded in rescuing Fi, he smiles with lots of joy. Kree on the other claw gazes at them with a face of disbelief, as if an evil genius had his or her plans foiled.
Praise the root! You all saved my sweet Princess Fi!
King Yi rises from his throne with utmost joy.
Father, stay away from Kree!
Ki tries to warn as his entire group, including Silvus, halt in front of the throne.
The entire thing with Fi was all a setup for us to be killed!
Big brother is telling the truth. Big sis was the one who told me to meet here at the outer roads. They give me a surprise for my aunt day.
Fi speaks up for Ki. King Yi faces Kree, conflicted whether to believe them. He cannot fathom the idea of one of his own hatchlings killing the others.
Is it true, Kree?
Kree looks around, trying to think of an excuse.
What proof do you have that I would dare lead my own family to their deaths?
Kree stutters a bit, making a nervous smile. Silvus knows she is lying and gives her a threatening glare. Does the name Shu ring a bell, Your Majesty?
Shu?
King Yi turns around, looking at Silvus.
Aren't they the clan that my grandfather, King Zhao, banished to the outer roads?
The guest speaks truth, father. Perhaps we have some of them prisoner right now, who will be great witnesses, Ki confirms with Silvus standing beside him.
If it's true, I say bring them over, that we can learn the truth.
King Yi agrees, without knowing that Kree is getting angry, taking out a dagger from her cloak, about to stab him. Silvus sees her, shocked, and shouts, Your Majesty, behind you! It is too late. The moment King Yi turns around, Kree stabs him right in the chest.
Father!
Daddy!
The two siblings, Ki and Fi, calls out in horror, while the rest of the nobles, servants, and guards all gasp.
Kree, why?
King Yi asks with his voice breaking, facing Kree in tears, only for her to remove the dagger from his bleeding chest and throw him down the steps, ragdolling him. Ki and Fi rush to their dying father, while the raptor cousins stand, glaring at Kree. Iko draws his bow and arrow, while Silvus draws his borrowed sword with his gloved claw and activates his mist aura on the other.
You fools were supposed to get killed. I had great plans that would benefit this rotting rock that we all call an empire.
Kree rants, with a shrieking hiss coming out of her beak snout, showing her teeth, confirming that kobolds do have sharp teeth. As he growls back at her, Silvus narrows his eyes toward the pommel of the dagger Kree used to kill King Yi. It is the same purple skull he saw back at Tricia. That symbol on your dagger, Silvus points at Kree's dagger. I saw that back home on the surface. You have been there, have you? Kree takes one look at the dagger and back at him with a smirk and whistles. From the rooftops, 20 raptor warriors armed with longswords wearing familiar black armor and cloak appear. To Silvus, they resemble the pursuers that chased him and his cousin. Whoever they are, Kree must be working with them. The nobles start to panic, running out of the throne room for their lives, as the kobold guards draw their weapons to engage with the mysterious warriors. Iko helps out by shooting arrows at each one, while Ki tells Fi to stay with her father as he draws his own sword to deal with the intruders as well. Silvus sees Kree trying to make a run for it at a nearby door as a means to take advantage of the distraction. Not wanting her to escape, he runs after her, knowing that his cousin, Ki, and the guards can handle the intruders. Silvus chases Kree up the tower, hoping to catch her before it's too late. The climb is pretty long, but that does not tire the two. Into a hall, Kree knocks down one of the busts with her tail in order to halt Silvus' chase, only for him to jump over thanks to raptors having longer legs.
He continues to chase her all the way to a balcony that towers over the rest of Shima. Now cornered, Kree turns around to see Silvus approaching her slowly with his blade drawn. There's nowhere else to run, Kree. Those raptors you call, who are they, and why are you helping them?
I only wanted to bring Shima back to his glory. I needed to be queen to do so.
Kree hisses at him and continues.
When I traveled to the surface world, I came across those raptors. They told me they can help me become queen if I promise to ally with them during this war you raptors are in.
And what does that have to do with me? Your associate from the Shu clan told me that you wanted me dead, Silvus demands, only to earn a sadistic chuckle from Kree.
You? Ha! They know you are here. I do not know why my associates want you dead. But all they told me is that you will be a threat to their plans. If their plans are threatened, my plans are threatened.
What about your family? Why get them killed? You could have worked with them, Silvus makes a few steps forward, keeping his eyes on Kree.
My father is an old fool. He wants to place my airhead of an older brother on the throne. And Fee, as a princess, she can rally the clans against me.
She begins to climb up the edge of the balcony railing, preparing to commit a certain act. Kree, I know what you're about to do. You can still come quietly, Silvus tries to reason, but Kree is not having any of it.
I spoke too much. I would rather die by my own claw than be sentenced by a bunch of fools.
With that, Kree makes a T formation and falls down. Silvus rushes up, hoping to stop her, but it is too late. He can only watch in horror as he watches the insane kobold female fall to her death. The kobolds below, nearby, rush up to her, shocked. Family killing each other for power and shady deals? It is a lot for Silvus to think about. Makes him wonder if it's part of kobold politics. Even worse, is it also part of raptor politics? Thinking about it gives him a shiver down his spine. Shaking off the thoughts, he decided to head back to the throne room to make sure everyone is okay. A funeral is being held around in the middle of the nobility district shortly after dealing with Kree. The body of King Yi is placed on top of a wooden platform in front of a giant root in the middle. Fee cries among the mourning crowd, being comforted by Iko. Ki stands with the members of the clan elites with a torch and claw. Silvus stands next to Iko and Fee, observing the entire funeral. Ki walks up to his dead father to give one more tearful glance. The body of King Yi lies, with arms crossed and a crown placed on top. With his eyes closed, Ki makes a prayer. Mighty root and scions of old, may you listen to my voice and claim my father King Yi into your presence. May you all continue to watch over us and protect us as one day we will join you. Ki bows his head and uses his torch to ignite the wooden platform on fire. The flame burn along with the body of King Yi as a symbol of his ashes joining with roots. As the king's body burns, Silvus turns to Fee and asks her, "What are scions?" After a few sobs, she looks at him. Iko still has his arm around her.
The scions are legendary kobold heroes of utmost honor. To be a scion, one must do something remarkable, like my ancestor Jin, who became a scion for you reuniting kobold kind during the age of the three cities. All the ruling clans you see here are descent from many scions before.
As much as Silvus wants to know what the age of the three cities is, he won't pry further. Seeing Fee is cracking down tears again. He gazes back at the fire, trying to hold back, shaking due to his secret fear of fire. The next day, the streets of Shima seem to be back to normal. The kobolds go on with their daily lives, but without singing due to mourning for their king. Silvus and Iko find themselves being escorted to the main entrance of the city, since they are finally allowed to head back to the surface for paying their debt. Both have their original equipment on, along with the Snaguanas, who are taken care of. Escorting the two cousins is Ki, or King Ki in this case. After the funeral, he was crowned the new king shortly after. As king, he wears his crown, along with his father's royal cape and sword to his waist. With him are two royal guards and a greenish-white female. Silvus guesses she might be Ki's mate, from the way she walks with him side by side. He can only pray to the spirits that Key knows what he's doing with her. That will be a story for another day. Regardless, they stop in front of the gates for King Key to turn around, facing the cousins. Silvus specifically. Well, boys, I have to admit, these times have been filled with deja vu. You two coming from the surface, youngest sister going missing, ambushed by members of vengeful clan, other sister going mad, my father dying, and now I am king. Tell me about it, King Key. Things are even more intense where my cousin and I are from. Silvus clarifies with a small laugh, thinking back how his uncle ranted about their own problems. No argument here, my friend, but before you all go, there are 2 things we must cover. Key claps for one of the guards to carry a familiar package. I believe this package is yours. It is, your majesty. Silvus walks up to the guard, looking very relieved, and gently grabs back the package. He checks it out to make sure it is not opened. Thank the spirits it is not. When father gave it to me, I assume must be very important to you. Key questions. It's not just important for me, your majesty. My mother wanted me to take it to the surface city of Padalot to show to the Mystatorium. She believes it is the key to saving my kingdom, Silvus answers, showing the package's seal. In that case, there is one thing I want to discuss. Key looks back and whistles. Both cousins look around him to see Princess Fee approaching them. Princess Fee is wearing a sleeveless chainmail cuirass with bracers. She also has a crossbow on her back. With a smile on her face, she greets him.
Hey, boys.
With a curious looks, the cousins look back to Key. I believe you promised father that you would send us aid, am I right? Your father told you? Silvus asks, earning a nod from Key and a giggle from Fee.
Oh, yes. Brother wanted one of us to join you on your quest to serve as a walking reminder of your promise. I always wanted to see what a service would look like, so I decided to volunteer.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not because of that guy? Key points at Iko, who makes a big grin, hoping it is the case.
Brother, don't embarrass me!
Fee's face turns red as a tomato. Key and Silvus share a laugh, while Iko only stares at how cute Fee looks when she's embarrassed. After the laughter dies down, Key explains, she is right about the reminder pot. One last thing I want to say is that thanks to you two, my sister and I would have been dead. My other sister Kree, despite her best intentions, would have become unknowingly a tyrant. Key looks at his mate, who puts a sympathetic claw on his shoulder, before turning back to the cousins. What I am trying to say is that on behalf of Shima and Kobold kind, we all owe you. And so do we, Silvus clarifies, shaking claws with Key. Goodbye for now. With that out of the way, the 2 cousins and the princess make preparations. Silvus straps the package back onto his back, while Iko does not hesitate to suggest that Fee ride with him on his Snaguana, making Silvus chuckle at his obvious crush on the little kobold girl. With the guests and princess prepared on the Snaguana, King Key orders the guards to open the gates. The gates slowly open and the trio begins the journey out of the city and back to the surface. While Fee rides behind Iko, she takes one more look back to wave goodbye to her brother, who in turn mouths, "Stay out of trouble," making her huff, throwing her little arms around Iko's waist. Iko makes a nervous grin with his cheeks turning red, enjoying it. As for Silvus, all that matters now is for him to head back to the service, to head to Padalot. He can only pray that his mother is still alright. End of chapter 14.